Kia ora, ngā mihi ki te whare. Welcome to The House, ko Louis Collins aho. You may have heard about the commotion at the end of Oriini Kaipara's maiden speech on Thursday. Someone in the public gallery began a haka, prompting the Speaker to suspend the House. But what did Parliament's newest MP actually say in her speech before all of that? Kaipara, a former broadcaster, was officially sworn in this week after winning the Tāmaki Makaurau by-election. The seat became vacant following the death of MP Takutai Tash Kemp. Maiden speeches are a good way to introduce you and your political convictions to your fellow MPs and, of course, the public. Parliament newbies tend to stick to the formula of talking about their background and upbringing, then outlining their ideologies and values and making clear what their aspirations are as an MP. Kaipara's speech, which alternated between English and te reo, had one core theme: resilience.
I honour our Pākeke who did not speak Māori. All of you who know and who carry the ache of disconnection and ensured that my peers and I would never feel it. Just as they stood for me, so I now stand for our tamariki and our mokopuna. Thank you for the sacrifices you made. Thank you for the ridicule you faced and for the courage that you showed in your commitment to a better life for us. When I stand in this house, I do so not as a survivor of colonisation who made it in the Pākehā system, but as the product of Māori resilience. We are the culmination of dreams, of purpose, of hard work and intention. We are here by design. Every single one of us who walks our own real journey is a beneficiary of the efforts of all those who held and still hold the line for all of us today. We embody everything they stood for, all that they dreamed of, and all that they hoped for. I've broken barriers, but now I choose to break cycles. I've covered stories, and now I choose to change them. I've competed at the Olympics of haka. I've taken haka to the Olympics. I've introduced te reo Māori into every space I've walked in, and I have no intention of stopping now. Some say te reo is another act of resistance. For many of us, it is our way of life. It just is. The Aotearoa hou I aspire to is free from racism, from discrimination, from trauma, and from unnecessary suffering. The Aotearoa hou I see is vibing. It's thriving, growing and going forward, not backwards. Kia whakatō muri te haere whakamua. I walk backwards into the future with my eyes fixed firmly on our past. E te pika I entered this whare in my hand holding te aho matua, the values and principles coined by the people who mentored and who shaped who I am today. They're in this house, many of them are not.
Kaipara won't be the newest kid on the block for long, though. The Greens' Mark Davidson will make his maiden speech next month as he replaces Benjamin Doyle in what will be yet another late joiner to Parliament this term.
Just like the bellbird dared to ascend the tallest kahikatea, we can and we will. Korihi, korihi, ko, iti rea rea. Kahikatea, kataea, korihi, korihi, ko.
Thanks, Louis. Kia ora, ko Phil Smith aho. For Parliament watchers and geeks, Thursday, when Oriini Kaipara made her maiden speech, was packed with interesting moments and details. Not least that she may have set a new record by managing to annoy the Speaker, Jerry Brownlee, with her very first outing. Start how you mean to go on, they say. Anyway, having spoken at length in Te Reo before swapping to English, her speech understandably ran somewhat long, and she confidently spoke through a number of bells rung by the speaker indicating her time was running out, and was well and truly over. It has to be said that it is pretty standard for maiden, and especially for valedictory speeches, to blast right on through the normal time limits, though sometimes it's agreed beforehand. On this occasion, the speaker was not best pleased, and when after the planned waiata a couple of high school students in the gallery burst into a haka, he briefly decamped.
The key point is, in this place, that no one member is more or less elected than anyone else. And the time that the House allocates for anyone to speak in here is by agreement. And when we have people coming into the House who decide they're not going to abide by their agreements, then they put themselves in a contemptuous position. The behaviour in the gallery was contemptuous. And it's my intention over the next couple of days to find out whether or not that was by agreement with any party inside this House.
Also on Thursday, a party vote was held on the Parliament Bill, and that turned out to be unusual as well. Te Pāti Māori voted en masse via a proxy vote because they were all out having a shindig after their new MP's maiden speech. But the arrival of Oriini Kaipara means they now have 6 MPs again, and so are no longer allowed whole-party proxies, and so their vote was ruled out. Thursday also agreed a motion to change Parliament's rules, but I'll let the 3 MPs who spoke on it explain. Louise Upston, Duncan Webb and Ricardo Menendez-March.
I move Government Notice of Motion Number 1 in the name of the Honourable Chris Bishop regarding electronic petitions with highly discriminatory content. This sessional order has come from a submission from the Petitions Committee that they made to the Standing Orders Committee regarding petitions with highly discriminatory content, which currently must be uploaded to the Parliament website, even without the requisite number of signatures needed to be presented to the House. There was unanimous agreement on the Standing Orders Committee that this was a matter which should be addressed, and a sessional order was drafted so that we can get on with it, and then the proper changes will be made during the usual standing orders process.
The problem which is being addressed here is the fact that a petition which is open for signatures is almost automatically placed on the Parliament website. And there have been instances where the petitions that have been put on the Parliament website, which gives it the appearance of being approved in some way by this House, had racist overtones or misogynistic overtones or something of those of that nature. So this sessional order now gives the clerk the ability to not post those petitions on the website. In fact, those petitions could still occur on a paper form by doing the rounds in the kind of old-fashioned way, but that doesn't give it the appearance of this Parliament approving as in any way legitimate petitions which are outright offensive.
Personally, I really support the fact that we have an electronic platform where people can host their petitions. It's super accessible. It makes it incredibly clear to people the instructions that they have to follow. That is amazing. But then it puts the question back to us about the nature of the petitions we're able to host. This will not prevent paper petitions of those natures from going out in the community. I don't think therefore, anyone could argue that this is about restricting people's ability to canvass petitions in their communities. This is simply about what gets hosted in the website and what gets platformed.
And one last oddity from Thursday. The final piece of business for the week was a bill to allow broadcast advertising on Sundays, on Anzac, and at Christmas and Easter. Among the original reasons for the ban were religious sensibilities, and so, when it came to a vote, Greg O'Connor, in the chair, announced it would be a conscience vote, when MPs are called to the chamber to vote in person, by their own conscience, or have another MP vote on their behalf. But that vote also hit a rather unusual snag after a pretty paltry result was announced.
The ayes are 49, the noes are 22. The question is agreed. Point of order, the Honourable Dr Duncan Webb.
Mr Speaker, I've just had occasion to look at standing orders, and I'm reading Standing Order 154. Now, Section 154 states, it's very short, Where fewer than 20 members attend the House to vote or abstain on a personal vote, the vote is of no effect. It appears we have 13 members who attended the House to vote, and it would appear, therefore, that that vote is of no effect.
And the chair, Greg O'Connor, intimated that numbers did not appear to be the only problem. Some proxies were also irregular.
It's quite clear for those who are present, a proxy must include the name of the member who's giving the authority, the date the authority is given, the period of business for which the authority is valid, the member who is given authority to exercise the proxy, and the signature of the member who is giving the authority. The chair is not only not satisfied that hasn't happened, the chair is satisfied that it didn't happen.
After some to and fro, he made a ruling.
There were less than 20 members present at the time the vote was taken in contravention of Standing Order 154. The debate on the bill is interrupted and is set down for resumption next sitting day.
The Parliamentary Practice Geek of the Week award then goes to Labour's Duncan Webb, who pointed out that quorum problem, which was the second rare voting rule of the day. Last word from Assistant Speaker Greg O'Connor.
The House stands adjourned until 2 p.m. on Tuesday the 14th of October 2025, and we all leave much better informed than we were when this debate began.
You've been listening to The House at Te Whakarongo Koe ki te Whare. This program is produced with funding from Parliament's Office of the Clerk. Mā te wā.